Hey guys, it's Molly, and today we are doing a very fun video. You can see all the books right here. I'm going to be doing my May TBR video. I've never done a monthly TBR video. I'm not really a TBR girl. I'm kind of more of like a mood reader. Like I really just read to what I feel and that kind of thing. But I've decided this month I want to kind of make a TBR because my physical TBR cart has become insane. I'm kind of running out of room. I'm buying way too many books and I just need to get through a lot of books. So this is kind of insane. I didn't realize how many there's it's not fitting in the frame. There's a lot. I literally can't even pick it up. There's so many. But yeah, so we're just gonna get into it. I'm just gonna show you my TBR and we'll go through every book. So we're gonna start at the top. I bought this book today because it just came out. This is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I don't really know much about this book. I do know Carly, her first book was Every Summer After. I think this is in the same universe. The cover is also beautiful. I love the cover. And that's kind of all I know about this book. I think it's a second chance romance and it's kind of a summer-ish love, and they're also older, so it's not younger kind of love, it's kind of older. But that's all I know, and I'm really excited to read that. So there's that one. And then next is Kristen Higgins' Pack Up the Moon. Also bought this today, and this I've wanted to read for a while because I've heard it's really sad, and I'm kind of a sad book lover. I love sad books. I love reading books that I think will make me cry. So this is that. I want to read the top blurb section because I read this to my mom when we were at half price today, and she was like, that is up your alley, because I was like, I want a sad book, and then I read the back and she was like, yep, that's the one you should get. And it says, every month a letter. That's what Lauren decides to leave her husband when she finds out she's dying. Each month she gives Josh a letter containing a task to help him face this first year without her, leading him on a heart-rending, beautiful, often humorous journey to find happiness again in this new novel from blah blah blah. But it looks so good, and I love books that have I don't know if multimedia, but different forms of writing, when it's letters or text messages or blog posts or articles. I love when it's not just POV writing, it's other forms. So I'm really excited to read this too. Next, we have two Lucy Score books. So I have Things We Hide from the Light and By a Thread, both by Lucy Score. Things We Hide from the Light, this is the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. So the first one I read was Things We Never Got Over. I read that, I think in March. Did I read that in March? Yeah, I read that in March. And this is the second one. And then the third one comes out in September, which I'm really excited about because it's Lucy's book. But yeah, this is basically just the second book, and it's Nash's book, and he is the brother of the first guy in the first book, Knox. So yeah, it's a small town romance. I've heard this is a Grumpy Sunshine kind of thing, but reverse Grumpy Sunshine maybe. I don't really know. I've heard not a lot of good things about this book too, so who knows if I'm gonna read it, who knows if I'm gonna like it, I don't know, but it's on my TBR. Next is By a Thread, and the main reason I'm reading this book is because Destiny and Sarah love it. I think this is a Grumpy Sunshine workplace romance, and it's also it's also slow burn. I think it's also, is it single parent trope? I don't think so. I don't know. I heard somewhere that it was single parent trope, but it doesn't say that on the back, so I don't think it is. But I just love this part. It's this whole Dominic has this whole spiel, and then Allie just goes, ha, hold my beer, charming. And it's so cute. Dominic was staring at me like he couldn't decide whether he loathed me or wanted to French kiss me. I'm so excited for this book. I've heard so many things about Dominic. I just want to read it. Next, we have Normal People. I have already started this book. I've also tabbed it and highlighted. I think I'm halfway through. I started reading this last month, and then I just could not get through it. I don't know. This is just one of those books that it's just really hard to get through because it's not depressing, but it's just there's not a lot going on. Like, there's a lot going on, but there's also not a lot going on. Like, I don't know. It's just telling a story of two people's lives, so it gets a little boring, and I got bored. So I'm going to try and finish that this month. Next, we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This movie is coming out in November. I thought this movie was coming out in May. So that's why I originally bought it, was because I was like, okay, I'm going to read it right before the movie comes out. Like, all good. But it comes out in November. I think I'm still going to read this month. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games series, and when I was younger, I was a really big Hunger Games girly. I loved the Hunger Games, and I've never read this book. I think this came out like 3 years ago. When did this come out? I remember when it came out and everyone was talking about it, and I just never read it. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, yeah, it came out in 2020. I just wasn't really in my Reader Girl era yet. It was not my Hunger Games era. And I was just like, I don't really want to read that. So I did it. And now I'm reading it. So, yeah. Next, we have a fantasy book. We have ACOTAR. I'm finally going to be reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm so excited. I'm not really sure what this book is about, but I just am excited to read it because all of the fantasy girlies love this book, and I see it like all over my For You page, all over my Bookstagram page, all over my booktube, and I want to read it, so I'm gonna read it. So yeah. Okay, next we have Saving Six. So last month and in March, I read the first two in the series, which is the Boys of Thomas series. I read Binding 13 and Keeping 13. I read Binding 13 in March and Keeping 13 in April. And this is Saving Six, which is the start of Alfie and Joey's book. Joey's books. Joey is Shannon, who's one of the girls, who's like the main girl in the Keeping 13 books, or the 13 books. She is his brother, or she is his sister. And then Alfie's just like they are in the books. They're in Keeping 13 and Binding 13. This book takes place, I think, before Binding 13 starts. And then the second book takes place right around the time Binding 13 and Keeping 13 take place. Like, I think the second book goes through Binding 13 and Keeping 13 and like a little bit after. But yeah, so I'm just really excited to start this one. I think I'm gonna read this after the book I'm reading right now. And whoa, this font is bigger. Am I tripping? I swear this font is bigger than it like in the other books. Wow, okay. But I'm no longer intimidated about how big these books are because I read Keeping 13 in literally 2 days. So no longer intimidated by big books. No longer. Next, we have 2 Sarah Adams books. When in Rome, which I kind of already started this book, but I stopped because I got bored. Yeah, so I'm like 40 pages into this book. I'm gonna read this book at some point this month. I don't know when, but I will. And this is Practice Makes Perfect. This isn't like a duology, I think, but they're like kind of standalones, but they're in the same universe. So I want to read this first before I read this one, and this one came out yesterday. I bought this today. And yeah, it's just so cute. I remember seeing a edit about this book, and I just really wanted to read it, like, so bad. I don't even remember what the edit was, but it was like something talking about the book. I think it was like Sarah Adams posted it or something, like on Instagram maybe. And it was like talking about Annie, and I was like, I want to read that. And also it just reminds me so much of, what is it called? Oh, Lisa on Love, which is one of my favorite books, one of my 5-star books. And this just kind of reminds me of that because it's like the same like flower shop, small town. Well, Lisa on Love is based in New York, so not really. But like same like flower shop, like kind of like, you know. So I'm excited. And then When in Rome is like small town, One of Us is Famous, Grumpy Sunshine. I think this is also Grumpy Sunshine, and then this is She's a Famous Pop Star, and then this is Her Bodyguard, and then this is Noah's sister. So they're like connected, and it's the same like town. It's Rome, Tennessee, I think, is where it takes place. But yeah. Okay, next we have, obviously, if I'm gonna read the, what is it? The Ballad of, I thought it was this one, but the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I'm obviously gonna read the Hunger Games series. So, funny story, I went to Half Price today. This is why I bought all these books today. I went to Half Price with my mom, and I got literally so many books, but I only spent $70, and I found a full box set. Doesn't even look like it's been touched. Hardback books for $20. $20. Like, what the heck? That's insane. Hardback. Like, the value, I looked on the bottom, the value was like $53. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like even that is kind of like cheaper, because I was looking at a box set. Well, actually, I guess that makes sense, because the ACOTAR series is bigger than the Hunger Games series. Never mind, just the knowledge of what I was saying. But I feel like box sets are just really good, and I found this one, and I got all three. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain what the Hunger Games series is, because if you don't know, you're dumb. Sorry. That was really aggressive. Next is the book that I'm currently reading. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. I'm on page 176, but I've been reading this like all day today, yesterday. Today's Wednesday. I keep thinking it's like Thursday. I keep thinking it's like later in the week than it is. I've been reading, like, I think I started it Monday night maybe. And I'm obsessed with it. I've been reading it so much. Like, I literally brought it to work yesterday so I could read it during my break. Like, who is she? She's obsessed. She loves. I love this book so much. It's like fantasy. I'm turning into a fantasy girly. Like, I feel like I'm turning into a fantasy girly, and I'm loving it so much. But two sisters, one brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. That's all you need to know, folks. It's pretty good. That's all I will say. This is kind of ridiculous. I don't even know how many books. I'm gonna have to, like, count this before I, like, post this video, but this is insane. Like, this is a little insane. I don't think I can even pick this up. It won't even fit in the frame. That's a lot of books. Like, let's see if I can fit these in the frame. I can't. I literally can't. There's so many. They're, like, overtaking me. But yeah, well, that's it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed. Love y'all. Bye.